Hey gang, this is Jason Singer of Michigander, and we're creating madness with madness to creation. Make sure to take care of yourself by giving yourself a nice warm bath once in a while.
Welcome to the Madness to Creation podcast, where self-care and music merge. This is Maddie. How are you? And we have with us on this episode Jason Singer, who is the alter ego of Michigander. It took me several times to try to pronounce Michigander's name. I wasn't sure if it was Michigander, but it's Michigander. On March 19th, Michigander released the EP, Everything Will Be Okay Eventually. And the EP is just a fantastic listen. It just has these beautiful guitar tones and just this sonic production that is rarely heard in the indie rock world. It just feels like it's just multiple layers and everything like that. And the album is perfect for this podcast in the sense that it really addresses mental health awareness and everything like that. And it includes the single Let Down, and it was featured on SiriusXM's Alt Nation and the Spectrum, as well as Top Rock playlist on Spotify and Apple Music. And Jason Singer was just a very gracious guest to have on. And this is just kind of a little bit of a quick interview, as he's very to the point on his questions and everything like that. And he also had other interviews to do during this time. But we get into, we talk about Let Down, okay. We also talk about just like what we do when everything is not okay. And my advice to you is simply just to survive, which means if surviving means just getting out of bed, brushing your hair or brushing your teeth or anything like that, that is a win. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, too many times we are told we need to do this, we need to meditate, we need yoga, we need to increase our prayer life, we need to talk to a friend, we need to go seek a counselor. Sometimes it's just getting through the day. And it is so important, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, that we seek that life balance. And that is one thing I really hope that we learn on just having that life balance, you know what I mean, and all that. But you can find Michigander everywhere on social media, and go to Spotify, Apple Music, and pick up the EP, Everything Will Be Okay Eventually, and follow us on the following platforms. You can follow us on Spotify, Spreaker, YouTube, Geo7, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Podchaser, and Podcast Addict. On that note, here's our conversation with Jason Singer of Michigander. Take it away, Jason. Welcome to the Madness to Creation podcast, where self-care and music merge. This is Maddie. How are you? And with me, I have Jason Singer from Michigander. Jason, how's it going today?
It's going well. It's going good.
Awesome. And thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me for Madness to Creation. And I got to ask you, how did your live stream recently go at L Club in Detroit, Michigan?
Oh, it was so fun. It was cool to get with the guys again and play for the first time together in a really long time. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and so what was some of your favorite takeaways, favorite memories, and stuff like that from the...
Yeah, it was cool just to see like the new songs come together and see and just kind of see all that kind of take shape for the first time. And the cool part is it's documented, so we get to see how poorly we might have done or how good we've done. But yeah.
Nice. And so how is it different adjusting to playing live on a live stream as opposed to having an audience in front of you?
It sucks. It should be it's a lot more fun to play to people and feed off their energy. When you're in a room with just yourself and your friends or your band, it's kind of hard to like take a tuning break or anything because the room is just dead silent, you know? So I'm hoping that we get back to the regular live show sooner than later.
Yeah. Is it kind of looking that way for Michigan right now?
I don't know about Michigan, but I think by the fall, maybe things overall will be a lot better. But right now, we're not really planning anything for a while. So,
yeah, and I was gonna say, like, what was it like creating Everything Will Be Okay Eventually, which was recently released? What was that like creating the music in terms of the pandemic and everything like that? What adjustments did you have to make?
Yeah, so I started it before the pandemic, so then we had to take a little break, and then like once restrictions kind of eased up a little. As soon as possible, we got back to the studio in a smaller numbers and wanted to work on it as much as we could in the quickest amount of time we could. So we, did a lot of production stuff at home this time, like a lot of the synthesizers and some of the programming and arranging. and we just got a lot more time to work on it than usual, which felt good.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the biggest thing that you have learned about yourself in terms of this pandemic, being in quarantine, being locked down for a year or whatever? What's the biggest thing you learned about yourself?
Yeah, I learned that I really enjoy being around people, and people are, as much as I like to be alone, I really enjoy people and just being around other human beings. So that is something, and I'm glad I never have lived alone during any of this. That's a real blessing.
Yeah, definitely. So have you been at home with like family and stuff?
No, I have a roommate. So I actually moved a few months ago, but I lived in Kalamazoo up until like 2 months ago. Now I live in Detroit. But I had roommates at both locations, so it's good to have people.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of one of the songs I want to get into is "Let Down." I really appreciate the lyrics in that song. Like,
Oh, cool.
Like something about I'm not very good at paraphrasing, so something about high hopes. I have high hopes, but they let me down.
Yeah.
And I know I paraphrased that, but it really resonates from a mental health angle. So is that song kind of talking about like being disappointed and stuff like that? That's kind of what I got out of it.
100%. The song's about having high expectations for and hoping for the best in any situation, and sometimes it doesn't work, so that's the tricky part. And I think that we all kind of struggle with that whole idea that we just hope for the best, I think, as human beings. So when we all get let down by it, it's a real bummer. And so the song's about being patient and keeping your expectations in check.
Mm-hmm. Is being patient kind of hard for you right now, considering the past year with COVID-19 and all that?
Yeah, big time. I mean, we had a lot of things we were supposed to do last year and a lot of things we were supposed to play, and that didn't happen. So it sucks, obviously. But yeah, it's been rough. But I think we're closer to the end of this than the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the first thing you want to do when this is all over, where Governor Whitmer, she opens everything up? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I want to play a show at the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Have you played there before?
Oh yeah, many times. That's like kind of like, it seems sort of like a home base, home turf for us. Yeah.
And I'm sure your fans really miss you there.
Yeah, I miss it too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I recently interviewed a band called the Dead Deads, and Meta Dead, which is her stage name. She talked about how like she feels like concerts are going to be like a paradigm shift, so to speak. She thinks they're going to be completely different. Do you think it's going to be like kind of back to the way it was before, or do you think it's going to be kind of a little bit different?
I want to say it's going to be better because I think people will really appreciate the music more. I think eventually we'll all be packed in clubs again. I mean, you look at other countries and they're kind of back to it, and we are already aching to get back. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully it is the same, but maybe better. I hope it's not worse. Like that would suck. Especially because that's what I want to get back to. Where in Iowa are you from? Do you see a lot of
hour and a half north of Des Moines.
Okay, cool. I spent a lot of time in the Quad Cities during normal times. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say Quad Cities is primarily known for WWE wrestler Seth Rollins.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we play shows in the Rust Belt, and
that's Rock Island, right?
That's Island, East Moline, but we also play at Davenport too. Yeah.
Where is the most favorite place you've ever played?
Oh, that's a good question. I think, truthfully, some of the best shows we've ever played have been in Davenport at the Raccoon Motel. Those have been a lot of fun, but also like I think hometown shows are always good. Minneapolis is always fun. Chicago rocks. Like we do really good there. A lot of people come out, and yeah, I think those are all pretty much the places. But secret, like I don't know why, but we just love going to Davenport and playing. It's a good music scene.
Absolutely, and I was gonna say the other single that you released is called "Okay." And I didn't mean to say it like that. But the song "Okay" is just, it really resonated with me. And what I really like is just like some of the guitar tones in the song. It's subtle, yet it just really hits. It really hits home, and I don't know how you guys do that, but what is like the writing process in terms of Michigander song?
It all is kind of different, but usually it starts with like a lyrical idea, and then it goes into the musical idea of things. And yeah, I don't know. It's all sort of different. I a lot of times have like these musical ideas, and then I try to sing melodies over them and throw everything I can at the song until it's something sticks, and that's typically how it goes. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And so basically, like, I'm also releasing a book. It's gonna be due out 2023. It might be later because it kind of depends on if I hit writer's block or whatever. It's gonna be called Lighthouses in the Darkest Distance. And one of the questions I usually ask, there's two questions I usually ask pertaining to the book. First of all, what is the soundtrack to your life? Like, what gets, like, when you're down or whatever, what is a band or an artist or an album or a genre that you go to kind of lift your spirits?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a band called The National. They're one of my favorites, so I listen to them quite a bit. Through any type of emotion, I feel like they're a good band to listen to. Yeah, they're one of my favorites, definitely.
Is there a certain song or album that you really like by them?
Yeah, they have an album called Trouble Will Find Me, and that record has kind of just been on a very consistent loop and repeat for forever. So
one thing I noticed about people that listen to The National is people are absolute fans of the band. There's no like, I listen to them. They're like really into them.
Yeah.
So what makes him special?
I don't know. I think it's something about his Matt's lyrics are really good, and his voice is obviously very unique, and so I think that also is something that's exciting to people. And like the way they play and everything is very unique. Like you can hear the drum beat and be like, I know what this is without knowing the song. And so I think I don't know. I think they're just they've been doing it for a while, and they've built a really loyal fan base.
Yeah, definitely. And also tell us about a time where like you got knocked down, so to speak, not like literally, but figuratively. And tell us like how you got out of this situation. What steps did you take to get out of the situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for a long time I just wanted to start a band, and no one could help me do it, So I just took a long time to start something, and eventually I was like, if I want to do this thing, I need to be writing the songs and singing the songs and playing the songs and doing it all myself. I can't really, I'm sad about this for no reason. Like I could do this myself, and I realized as soon as that mentality like switched in my head to knowing that if I want something done, do it myself. Don't wait on anybody else. There's no reason to. And I'm glad I did it that way, because otherwise, who knows, if I would have waited, I would still be kicking around playing little bar gigs or something. Nothing wrong with that, but like that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, definitely. And is that something that you continue to strive for in your music? Is just kind of push yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even today I was working on songs, and I was like, I got to push this thing, and I might like work on the lyrics like more than ever before on anything. So like, yeah, trying to push myself is something I'm really, especially lately, because I feel like everything I just put out is the best it's ever been, and so I want it to be the next step to be even better. And I know that's not just going to come super naturally to me. I want to work a lot harder on what's next.
Definitely. And what tips do you have in order to write a good song? Like, let's say I want to start writing a song. I come to your workshop. What are you going to teach me?
Yeah, that's a good question. I always say melody is the most important thing. Melody is king. Like you got to have a good melody for the song. Otherwise, like the rest of the song doesn't matter. As long as you have a good melody, then from there you can build out the rest of the song. But like, it's all about the melody, because that's what people sing. That's what people whistle. That's what people get stuck in their head. So that's always what I want to do now.
Definitely. And what else would you like to add in regards to Michigander, where people can find you? Anything mental health related or music?
The new EP is out now. Everything will be okay eventually. streaming everywhere and available everywhere to listen, wherever you get music from. And I'm super stoked that it's out finally.
Yeah, definitely. And we're super stoked that it is out because it's a fantastic EP.
Oh, thank you.
And I think my listeners at Madness Creation Podcast should definitely take a listen to it. And Jason Sainer, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me for Madness Creation. This was a lot of fun. And thanks so much for being so gracious and rescheduling. It's definitely appreciated.
100%. No worries. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely.